උන්වහන්සේලා මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මැදිහත් වෙනවා නම් අපි එය ඊටමත් නමස්කාර පූර්වකව පිළිගන්නවා කිසිම කොන්දේසි විරහිතව.
ඒකට අපි කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ වශයෙන්.
ගුරුවරුන්ගේ වැටුප් වැඩිවීමකුත් තේරන් ඕන වෙන්නේ.
Hello there, very good evening. You're joining Primetime Weekend News live on News First. I'm Sonali Wanigabadiki. First, here's a look at tonight's headlines. University teachers and education authorities to agree to intervention from the Mahanayakas to resolve crisis. 11 persons who attempted to remove soil from the Chandrika River arrested. Security presence beefed up in the area. The Knuckles Reserve at risk of being destroyed due to human activity. Starting off tonight's news bulletin, President Mahinda Rajapaksa participated in a walk organised in lieu of World Heart Day today. The walk organised in lieu of World Heart Day, which fell yesterday incidentally, was organised jointly by the Sri Lanka Heart Organisation and the Presidential Secretariat.
The walk commenced from the Presidential Secretariat and proceeded to Temple Trees. A large crowd including sportsmen and women, public and private hospital staff, members of the armed forces and students joined the President on this walk. The Presidential Media Unit said that a brief event had been organized at Temple Trees following the conclusion of the walk.
The Federation of University Teachers Associations says that if the Mahanayakas of the Malwatu and Asgiri sects agree to intervene to resolve the higher education crisis, then FUTA will accept it unconditionally. The Federation made this statement while expressing views on a letter addressed to them by the Mahanayakas recently.
Issuing a joint letter on Friday morning, the Mahanayakas of the Malwatu and Asgiri sects of the Siam Mahanikaya stated that if both parties are willing to reach a consensus, then they would act as the mediators. In the letter, the Mahanayakas point out that in order to resolve a conflict between two parties, the non-arbitrary mediation is a necessity. If they are willing to intervene, then we will accept it unconditionally. Our members have only one need, a permanent solution to this problem. We need a discussion with Dr. P. Bijayasundara. Following that discussion, once our other demands are met, we can cease the strike. Instead, if they ask us on Monday to turn up for work, we are not prepared to do that. I think the Mahanayakas have put forward a very good proposal. On the part of the ministry, we have no problem with it. We have the ability to humbly participate in this discussion because we too desire to resolve this problem and ensure the future of the children. We desire a cordial conclusion to this. This proposal has our blessings. Meanwhile, when we made inquiries, the Secretary to the Ministry of Higher Education, Dr. Sunil Jayantha said that they accept the intervention of the Asgiri and Malwatu Mahanayakas. However, he noted that the minister's written response to this has not been delivered as yet.
Minister of Disaster Management Mahinda Amaraveera says that if the salaries of university teachers are to be increased, then the salaries of school teachers too must be increased. He made this observation at an event held in Angunukula Palasa yesterday.
The doctors and professors in this country render an immense service. We have not forgotten this. But we also cannot forget that there is another group which renders a similar if not greater service in education. School teachers train students to pass the grade 5 scholarship exam, the O-levels and the A-levels. If they do not do this, then who would be left to learn in universities? The primary steps in education are provided by them. University is only the final stage. Therefore, we must look at their needs as well. The wages of school teachers will also have to be increased in this case.
The newspaper cartoon of the day is up next.
31 days since the conclusion of the 2012 A-level examination. No change in the status of the answer scripts of 277,671 students who sat for the examination. The Federation of University Teachers Association and the Lanka Teacher Services Association say that they will not participate in paper marking. The Ceylon Teachers Union says they will not take up the university lecturers' task in paper marking. Department of Examinations notes, students' answer scripts will be kept securely. Federation of University Teachers Association says they will not participate in discussions. When will the problem be resolved? And when will paper marking commence?
Another phase of the Sasunata Aruna program was held in Panathura today.
Deputy leader of the UNP Sajith Premadasa made a financial donation to the Gorakana Purana Kande Viharaya in Panathura today under the Sasunata Aruna program.
අපේ රටේ අධ්‍යාපනය කියන මේ මහා කප්රුක
A two-tongued government that is engaged in the Traitorous Act of destroying education is currently ruling this country. We commenced this massive protest march not only to secure increased wages for the university lecturers, but to rally behind them and secure greater financial allocations for the entire education system and create a progressive and wholesome education system for this country.
අධ්‍යාපන පද්ධතියක් ස්ථාපනය කිරීමේ අරමුණිනුයි අපි මේ මහා පාගමන ක්‍රියාත්මක කරේ.
The final rites of the two students who were killed in an accident in Imbulgoda Gampaha recently were performed today. The final rites of Janaka Bandara Ekanayaka, who was a student at the Kelaniya University, were performed in Matale.
Sasitha Priyankara De Silva, who was a first-year student at the Ruhunu University, was a resident of Modara. Several parliamentarians and the opposition leader arrived at his residence today to pay their final respects. Numerous university students also paid their final respects to Sasitha Priyankara today. The body was then brought to St. James's Church in Madhampitiya, where following religious observances, Sasitha Priyankara was laid to rest in the Madhampitiya Public Cemetery. Sasitha Priyankara De Silva from the Ruhunu University and Janaka Bandara Ekanayaka from the University of Kelaniya were killed on Thursday when the motorcycle they were travelling on met with an accident in Imbulgoda, Gampaha.
Still in local news, environmentalists say that tourists who destroy the natural environment are the ones who do not understand the importance of protecting it. Anyone visiting the Knuckles Reserve will notice how the beauty of the environment has been destroyed by the tourists.
The Knuckles Reserve, which is home to many endemic plants and species and known to be one of the world's most precious environment system, was established as a reserve during the British governance. The Knuckles Range, which covers over 65 square miles of land, is situated 1,265 meters above sea level and is also the start of many major rivers, including the Mahaveli River. Many local and foreign tourists visit this reserve to admire its beauty. These tourists who travel empty-handed are foreigners. These are local tourists. The environmentalists predict that this would be the end of this national heritage as heaps of trash are being collected day by day. Wildfires that occurred at several instances this year within the reserve stress on the fact even more. There is an increase in fires due to human activity. We are searching for information of people who engage in such activity, and we have received information about these people. Based on the information, we are investigating the fact and taking measures to arrest them. However, the environmentalists had something different to say.
මේ නකල් සංරක්ෂිත ප්‍රදේශයේ ආශ්‍රිතව විශාල ගවයින්
There are many cattle who are being bred in this area. The reason for the fires is the grass cut as food for these cattle. All fires erupt from the land which is to be taken by the reserve. If we are to protect the reserve from these fires, effective steps should be taken to take these lands over, and the boundaries of the reserve need to be restricted by law.
ආශ්‍රිත ප්‍රදේශයේ නිසි නීතිමය රාමුවකට යටත් කරලා පාලනය කිරීමේ අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තියෙනවා.
Furthermore, the environmentalists point out that attention needs to be paid to the efforts to extinguish these fires as well as preventing the spread of fires.
මිනිසුන් විසින් යම් යම් උපක්‍රම සඳහා යම් යම් අවශ්‍යතාවයන් ඉටු කිරීම සඳහා මේ ගිනි තැබීම් කරනවා.
People set fire on different reasons. Most of the time we focus on putting off the fire, but we need to come up with a way that can prevent these fires before they start. We have discussed about this issue at length at the District Coordination Committee meeting. After the approval of all members, we will be able to take measures to implement them.
It is definitely the nation's responsibility to protect this national heritage.
The police and the police special task force have been deployed to beef up security in the Chandrikavava area in Ambilipitiya. The need for increased security arose after a group of persons attempted to excavate soil from the lake.
Reconstruction work is currently underway at the Chandrikavava, where soil is being excavated as a result. Following the spread of a rumor that the soil contains valuable minerals and gemstones, area residents had flocked there to remove the soil. The police and police STF who arrived at the location had to arrest several individuals and also seized vehicles and equipment. The police said that they had seized 3 lorries, a 3-wheeler and a hand tractor. The police and the police STF had been deployed in the area since last night to beef up security. 11 persons who were arrested in the incident were produced before the Ambilipitiya Chief Magistrate today and were subsequently placed in remand custody until tomorrow.
Views were expressed at a media briefing convened in Kalmune yesterday regarding SLMC candidate for the recently concluded Eastern Provincial Council polls, Asad Sali. SLMC representatives, including SLMC parliamentarians, participated at the briefing.
2 years ago, the President had appointed him as the co-chairman of the Hajj Committee. If you ask the people in the Eastern Province and representative officers there about him, they will clarify matters. The President appointed an inquiry committee and he was found guilty. He also speaks against the party. What qualifications does he have? Has he planted any seedlings for this party? Has he at least watered any seedlings for this party?